What if I told you that whether you end up rich or poor isn't about luck, talent, or even hard work? It all comes down to a rule. A rule so subtle, so invisible, most people never even notice it. But here's the kicker. This rule is quietly controlling your bank account, your time, your freedom, and if you ignore it, you're done. This isn't some motivational fluff. This is the same rule that separates millionaires from the broke. The same rule followed by the ultra-wealthy, the billionaires, the people who retire at 35 while others work till they drop. And you've probably never been taught it because if everyone knew it, the system would collapse. So what is this hidden rule? Simple. Rich people use money to buy freedom. Poor people use time to chase money. Let that sink in. Most people? They wake up, trade hours for a paycheck, and repeat that cycle for 40 years, hoping that maybe, just maybe, they'll have enough to stop working when they're too old to enjoy it. That is the trap. Now here's where it gets wild. The top 1%, they play a different game. They don't trade time for money. They use money to create systems, assets, investments, streams of income that pay them whether they're working, sleeping, or sipping smoothies in Bali. Their money works harder than they ever do. And guess what? This isn't a rich people privilege. It's a mindset, a formula, a strategy, and it works even if you're broke right now. Robert Kiyosaki breaks this down in Rich Dad, Poor Dad. The poor and middle class work for money, but the rich make money work for them. That's not just a quote, that's a blueprint. The second you understand that money is a tool, not a reward, the game changes. Because poor people think money is something you earn. Rich people know money is something you build. Now, the system? It wants you blind. It wants you stuck. That's why nobody teaches this in school. They'll make you memorize the square root of nonsense. But they won't teach you how taxes work or how to invest or how compound interest turns pennies into fortunes. Because if you knew the truth, you'd stop being a cog. You'd become a creator. So here's the truth they don't want you to hear. You don't get rich by working harder. You get rich by thinking differently. Because the moment you realize that saving alone won't make you wealthy, that your 9-to-5 was never designed to make you free, that's when the rule starts to reveal itself. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. This rule, it's like gravity. It's always been there. It doesn't care if you believe in it. It's working every second. Either for you or against you. Most people, it's working against them, crushing them with debt, time poverty, and a life of financial anxiety. But if you flip the script, if you start using this rule to your advantage, it becomes the most powerful wealth-building force you've ever known. And the best part? You don't need a trust fund, a Harvard degree, or even a huge income to make it work. You just need to understand how the game is actually played, and stop playing the one designed to keep you broke. So how exactly does this hidden rule operate in your daily life, without you even realizing it? It starts with how you earn money. Most people rely on active income, meaning if you don't show up, you don't get paid. That's fine for survival. But it's a trap for wealth. You're trading time, your most limited resource, for money which can be printed endlessly. It's like trading diamonds for dirt. And here's where it gets scary. No matter how much you earn this way, you're still stuck. You could be making $100K, $200K a year, it doesn't matter. If you stop working, the money stops. Your entire life is one long hamster wheel with nicer shoes. Meanwhile, the wealthy, they build passive income, money that flows whether they're awake or not. Think real estate, stocks, royalties, businesses, licensing. And once that income exceeds their lifestyle, they're free. Not rich, free. And here's what they never teach you. You don't need millions to get there. You just need enough passive income to cover your basic lifestyle. That's when the magic starts. But the system doesn't want that. The system wants you to buy liabilities. Fancy cars, giant TVs, the latest phone, because that keeps you spending, borrowing, chasing. It feeds the machine. You think you're upgrading your life, but you're really upgrading your chains. Let's talk truth. Poor people buy things. Rich people buy things that buy things. That iPhone? It loses value the moment you open the box. That same money could have bought Apple stock that actually pays you. You're not broke because of your job. You're broke because of what you do after you get paid, and it gets deeper. According to the millionaire next door, most millionaires aren't flashy. They drive used cars, live in modest homes, and invest like lunatics. Why? Because they understand that money grows in silence, not in flexing. They let their assets do the talking. Meanwhile, most people are drowning in debt to look rich, while being one paycheck away from panic. This isn't a judgment. It's a wake-up call. Because the moment you stop trading time for money and start using money to buy time, you flip the rule. You escape the loop. And that is where real wealth begins. But it's not just about the money. This rule applies to your energy, your attention, your decisions. Every scroll, every binge, every distraction is a transaction. You're paying with your future. One click at a time. And most people, they're broken attention, broken focus, broken discipline, so even when they get the money, they lose it. Fast. Why? Because your bank balance will always catch up to your mindset. If your habits are cheap, your life will be too. So the real upgrade, it doesn't start in your wallet, it starts in your head. And this is where everything starts to crack. Because even when people finally make more money, they somehow stay broke. Why? Because of something deadly called lifestyle creep. It's when your income goes up, and your expenses chase it like a hungry wolf. You get a raise? Boom, fancier car. Bonus check? Boom, upgraded apartment. Suddenly, you're earning twice as much and still living paycheck to paycheck. Just in a shinier cage, you're not richer, you're just spending louder. Meanwhile, the rich? They don't play that game. They live below their means and invest the difference. They buy freedom first and flex last. They're not buying luxury with their salary. They're letting their assets buy it for them. There's a reason Warren Buffett still lives in the same house he bought in 1958. Because he's not chasing status, he's building empires. And now here's the mind melter. This isn't just financial, it's neurological. Your brain has been conditioned to think like a consumer. Ads, society, school, they've all programmed you to crave spending, fear investing, and seek instant pleasure over long-term power. That's not a character flaw. It's a setup. But you can rewire that. When you train your brain to delay gratification, to invest before you spend, to value time over toys, you literally shift how your mind processes wealth. You go from short-term dopamine chaser to long-term freedom builder. That's how the rich think, and that's why they stay rich even when they lose everything, because their mindset is the real asset. And here's what most people never figure out. Income is not the goal, it's the starting point. The real goal? Cash flow that doesn't need you. Because relying on one income stream, your job, is like trying to fly a plane with one engine. One layoff, one accident, one bad month, and boom, you crash. The wealthy? They stack income streams like weapons. Business income, dividend income, rental income, royalties, licensing, digital products, automated systems. They build a money machine. And they don't stop until that machine feeds them 24/7, and it doesn't take millions to start. Even $5 a day invested consistently can turn into a small fortune, thanks to the magic of compound interest, which Albert Einstein literally called the eighth wonder of the world. Because money doesn't grow, it multiplies. Every dollar you save is like planting a seed. Every dollar you invest is like watering that seed. And every year you wait, that tree gets bigger. But here's the twist. Compound interest works against you too. When you're in debt, it's the bank getting rich off you. So when you finance that vacation, that car, that new gadget you don't need, you're not buying a product, you're buying slavery. In monthly payments. This is the hidden rule in action, quietly pulling people down while lifting others up. And now it's either working for you, or it's working for someone else. Because once you understand that every financial decision you make is either buying your freedom or selling it, everything changes. When you buy things you don't need with money you don't have, to impress people who don't care, you're not just wasting cash, you're pushing your dreams further away, one swipe at a time. But here's the mind-blowing part. Wealth isn't just about money, it's about options. The option to say no, the option to walk away, the option to live life on your terms. And that only happens when you stop living in reaction and start building with intention. This is why the hidden rule matters so much. It's not just a financial strategy, it's a psychological upgrade. Because when you follow the default path, school, job, debt, retirement at 65, you're literally trading the best years of your life for a future that may never even come. But when you follow the hidden rule, you start to understand how the game is really played. You realize wealth isn't just earned, it's engineered. You see how banks use your deposits to make millions while paying you 0.01% interest. You see how the ultra-rich legally pay less taxes than teachers because they own assets, not jobs. You see how businesses scale faster than employees ever will, because time stops being a limit, and suddenly, you start playing a completely different game. You stop buying liabilities. You start collecting income-producing machines. You stop thinking monthly, you start thinking generational. You stop asking, how much does it cost? And start asking, how much does it earn? And that's the shift. That's what separates people who hope for wealth from people who create it. So if you're still watching this, understand this isn't just some motivational talk. This is your blueprint, your roadmap, your cheat code. Because the hidden rule, it's real, and it's ruthless. It rewards action. It punishes comfort. It pays those who take responsibility, and bankrupts those who wait for permission. Right now, in this moment, you've got two options. You either keep living by the rules you were handed, or you break them and build your own. The game's been rigged long enough. Now it's your turn to rig it. Back. Build your assets. Multiply your income. Guard your time. Own your future. Because once you do, that's when you'll stop surviving and start living, and that is how the hidden rule decides whether you end up rich or poor.